I call the Honourable Minister, Hekia Parata, tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Huri noi tō tātou whare, tēnā tātou I tēnei ahi. Mr Speaker, I'm pleased to take a call on Budget 2011. I'm pleased because this budget speaks to New Zealanders as smart people. New Zealanders understand that this budget is a budget of its time. We are still dealing with the impacts of a recession. We are still dealing with the consequences of many of the decisions that were made by that opposition while they were in government. We are committed to paying down debt, and this budget is very clear about that. It is unambiguous that that is a significant target of our government. New Zealanders are smart people, and they understand the analogy of running a government is the same as running a household. There are only three ways that that can be tackled. Find savings in the way that one operates, borrow, and make opportunities to create new wealth. And this budget addresses all three. New Zealanders know that continuing to borrow at the level that we are at the moment is not sustainable for a meaningful long-term future. And this government is about a meaningful long-term future, and that is why in the 2.5 years that we have been in government, the opposition, the country, has been able to see that we are prepared to tackle the systemic and structural challenges that face us that that government was unable and unwilling to do when it was in government. We understand that long-term improvement for this country and the opportunities to create wealth rely on our having a highly qualified, highly educated society, and that is why we have invested so significantly in education. In this budget, we have seen a further $1.4 billion allocated to the education sector. $550 million to early childhood education. This government understands that the first 5 years of a young person's life are critical to the quality of the educational trajectory that they will follow in life, are critical to the opportunities they will have to contribute to the society of which they are members, are critical for their New Zealanders, young and old, to realise that this is an inclusive society. It is more and more successful based on the level of educational attainment that all New Zealanders experience. There are numbers of our community who, however, are not participating at the level that will ensure or secure that success. And that is why we have put aside $91.8 million to target the participation rate of Māori and Pacific Island students, and to ensure that they have the opportunity to participate in good quality early childhood education. That is why we have focused at the primary school level on national standards, so that we can discover earlier rather than later whether a child is literate and numerate to the age that they should be. And that is why we are focused on what research tells us, that the quality of a child's education experience relies on the quality of the teacher in the classroom and the ability of that teacher to be informed by the results that national standards will provide for them. Because we cannot have young people arriving at school in Year 9 and discovering at that point that they are unable to read and write for their age group. Because trying to catch up at Year 9 for 8 years of primary schooling means that they will find it very, very difficult to do. Indeed I do, as the opposition has pointed out, come from a family of educators, and we talk all the time about what is required, and we are committed, unlike that opposition who want to bark like hyenas, we are prepared to take the hard decisions about what is required for young people to be successful. In fact, the member from Gisborne is misinformed if she thinks she understands my family's view of education better than I do. I can speak far more authoritatively on that any day of the week in any forum, and I'm happy to do so. And that is why we have invested a further $1.4 billion in education, and the highest ever that has been funded into early childhood education. Mr Speaker, this year's budget is about building faster economic growth around higher national savings, and we are committed to seeing higher national savings, and the changes that we have made in KiwiSaver respond both to our need to find higher national savings and to be able to fund the other priorities that are essential for getting this country back onto a strong growth track. We are about setting a credible path back to surplus and repaying debt. No New Zealander wants the level of debt that this country has had to endure off the back of 9 years of profligacy that we inherited. We are about paying down debt so that New Zealanders can look forward to the kind of growth that they are entitled to. And we are looking forward to 4% growth that have been forecast from 2012 to 2015, during which we expect to see 177,000 jobs created as part of this economy. And unlike the opposition, we don't think that that should be on the back of make-work schemes that tended to be the characteristic of that government's approach to economic growth. Rather, we see the economy doing that, and to do that we have to back businesses. And in so doing, we have to cut red tape. We have to have employment law reform, which we have seen over the 2.5 years that this John Key-led government has been in government, because we know, unlike the opposition, that growth is built by businesses. And that is why we have had the biggest tax reforms in a generation. And that is why 72% of all income earners are now on a statutory tax rate of 17.5% or less, because again, this government recognises that New Zealanders are smart people and that they can make wise decisions about the money that they earn, while still contributing to the central coffers to fund public services, to fund schools, to fund hospitals, to fund roads, to fund ultra-fast broadband, to fund more policemen, to fund more nurses, to fund more doctors. These are the real changes that New Zealanders want to see and that this government is delivering. And as my colleague who spoke just before me said, this budget is also about rebuilding Christchurch over the next few years. It is critical to this country that the rebuild and the recovery of Christchurch occur as fast as possible. Not only is it critical for the people of Christchurch and for the social well-being of those people who, yes, are existing on frayed nerves because they are being challenged every time there is a tremor in that part of the world. But it's also critical for the rest of New Zealand, because Christchurch is our second biggest economic hub in New Zealand. It's important for all New Zealanders, and New Zealanders are smart people and they have recognised that, and they understand that $5.5 billion that has been allocated in this budget is as much an investment in Christchurch and the wider Canterbury region as it is in the rest of New Zealand. Mr Speaker, this budget builds a platform for savings and growth and sets a faster return to surplus. But it also is an opportunity, I think, to cast a light on what National has achieved so far. For the past 2.5 years, the National-led government has provided the responsible economic management that New Zealand was in such need of after 9 years of Labour. When we took the reins of office, the financial crisis had reached its peak, and New Zealand had been in recession before anyone else, and there was a big job to do because the economy had shrunk by 3% in a year, topping off 5 years of historically low growth. Exports had flattened out completely, and we know, this government knows, that we need an export-led economy. So it defies belief that the opposition thinks that the way one gets growth is to attack the primary producing sector, the farmers, the people who do, yes, grow meat and wool and trees, and the fisher folk who go out and catch fish and contribute that to our economy. It defies belief that the opposition, while saying that they are committed to export-led growth, nevertheless attack the sector that is the platform for that export-led growth. Unlike the opposition, this government understands that it takes a range of contributions to develop an economy and to create opportunity and to create confidence, and that's what this budget has done. It is a budget of its time. It speaks to New Zealanders who are smart people. They understand we have to pay down debt, they understand that they want better value in our public services, and they understand that we need to grow a pathway to greater opportunity for all New Zealanders. Mr Speaker, I'm proud to have spoken on the 2011 budget. Kia ora tātou.
Mr. Speaker.
Dr. Kennedy Graham.